Hello ratbags, it's Jade back with a Valheim news video. The public test branch has been updated after a good amount of weeks. The developers were on their annual holiday, but they've been back since last week working hard, and this is the first update to that test branch. Now remember, this update isn't live for everyone, so Hildir's Quest, the brand new mini bosses, the new trader and stuff, it won't be there for Xbox or regular Steam players unless you've opted into the beta or joined via the Xbox Insider Hub. And by what they're saying online, it looks like this will probably go live later on this week. So let's get into the changes lately. So Hildir's had some changes as we predicted based on the teasers from the devs, that stamina is now going to be a buff or a bonus that you get while using some of the clothing. Each piece is going to give you 20% less stamina usage when you're using either a hammer, the hoe or the cultivator. Things like scarves and hats, they're going to be 15%. Doesn't look like there's any new items, pretty much exactly what was been in there before. We'll go for a simple blue dress, and then we go for obviously a fur cap grey. You can see it does stack, so if you're wearing the cap and a dress or a scarf, you're going to get 35% less stamina usage. So you can see I'm pretty much ploughing through using my hoe here, and it is definitely going down, but yeah, it's definitely a lot slower than it normally does. And of course take off the Hildir's Quest gear and we go ahead and use it again. You can see we are absolutely rinsing through it a lot quicker. I think that's just about the right compromise. I do think it would have been nice for the clothes to have maybe some more individual buffs rather than just all be stamina. I still think there was room there to add something like stopping food or reducing the hunger and stuff. Maybe adding more time to the foods that you already crafted. I guess it is hard. These are items that are kind of just bonuses for maybe more hardcore players wanting to take on the side bosses. Is it enough a reward for the effort in going through it? I think for long-term players, absolutely. If you do any kind of building, any kind of farming, then of course anything that's going to reduce the grind of you having to have high stamina foods all the time or just being able to do stuff a bit speedily, that's got to be a win for most long-term players. But a lot of short-term players or players not interested in that kind of stuff, which is kind of like the core of the game, I do wonder if they're going to still feel just a bit disgruntled that the buffs or the clothing or the rewards just aren't enough. That said, there is of course loot from the mobs, and you will find loot in some of the new boss locations. So it's not like completely worthless, but you get the idea. It probably has just got a bit too much trying to work out exactly what kind of buffs they could apply to different clothing, so better to just be a bit safe and keep it pretty simple. But a 35% reduction, yeah, that's pretty good. The other big thing that's as part of this update is the ability to copy items while you build now. So if I go ahead and LBRB, click here, it then instantly brings up the pillar. Likewise, if I want another barber station, I've got one. This is really cool. For builders especially, I think this is going to save a ton of time and space, always having to go back into the inventories to choose whatever build item it is you want. Once you've built a little bit at least anyway, it's going to be just so much nicer and easier having to be able to copy stuff and go ahead and just place it where you want. This is such a win little shortcut. There are some fixes as well with the precision building. Apparently plants weren't growing the right way either, and all the Hildir items can now be repaired at a workbench. Apparently there was a little bit of a bug with that. Of course the snapping is still there, making life a lot more easier now to go ahead and build whatever it is you want. There is an absolute ton of actual detailed patch notes which I'm going to rattle off. So Hildir locations should now generate correctly on dedicated servers. You know about the base items having better stamina now. The manual snap cycling, as we saw there, now shows the name of each snap point. So top, down, etc. You no longer accidentally cycle snapping points while having the build menu or the map visible. Snap points removed for the barber station. You can now zoom the camera while using the hammer, hoe and cultivator if no rotation is possible while using the mouse, and always on gamepad. So I'm guessing that's if you get stuck somewhere. Fix the issue where precision placing build pieces would appear to be a few centimeters off. Remove the possibility to build on the fire pit. Removing a piece is now done when you release the button rather than pressing it to allow for button combinations, and so you can change your mind and hover away. Prevent character from jumping when in piece selection. Place stacks is now available only when a container has been opened. You can no longer press Shift E on a container to place stacks. You now have better control over growing plants, as they will now grow into approximately their sapling rotation, but they start with a random rotation when planting. Hard and very hard combat difficulty now also increases star mob chance. Pickables, honey and sap scales correctly with the resource rate modifier. The resource rate modifier should now scale more correctly for all drops. Toggle auto run renamed to toggle sprint and works again. Reset auto run after dodge. Fix the crash related to the old portal. Fix the bug where being near a queen dungeon would block portals when using the no boss portal option. Bosses will now count as active and block teleporting after the first time they've been aggroed rather than when they are spawned. Block portals and dungeon exits will now display the same message when being blocked by the no boss portals modifier. Fix crossplay servers failing to register if too many modifiers were set, and have fixed the modifiers not being set for in-game hosted servers when registering to Steam's matchmaking. They've also fixed modifiers not being reset when starting a world with no modifiers after starting a world with modifiers, and another one to do with random events only spawning for the host when using player-based events or not at all on dedicated servers. They fixed the saving of some stats. They added Hilda to the item set command. Random event and stop event commands can now be called by all admins, not just the host. A new optimised low vegetation quality setting will now have a small amount of grass rather than none. Fixed LOD terrain mesh becoming visibly distorted when standing near modified terrain in some cases. They fixed the vegetation shader issue, threading issues with the game quitting itself a bit faster as a result, and a bug where the music could get stuck in the morning and evening when in dungeons. They've changed the Alt functionality key, changed to LB for console 2 mapping, added quick selection commands for console, store, X plus D-pad, load, Y plus D-pad, fixed incorrect click sound on the B, fixed sometimes missing tooltips for inventory items, fixed an issue where boats could fall through the ocean. Whole bunch of issues to do with fixing a UI, which I'm not going to go through. And stability fixes, a whole ton have been fixed related to generation and projectiles. Honestly, I did recite them all. You don't need to know. You just need to know that saving is much better now. Cloud saving, never mind if you're on Steam or on Xbox, it should be a lot better. Especially on Xbox, where it's probably the most problems reported in the last 4 to 5 months, showing that basically worlds were still being deleted or saves were still being lost. It does look like this might be the final fixes, for now at least, to hopefully solve some of them problems that I know some of you guys still had on Xbox. I do think this might be one of the last PTB updates we get before it goes live for everyone. Of course, if you've been out of the loop, since it has been a while since obviously the mini bosses were added, obviously Hilda the trader herself, I will be here a refresher, giving you updated videos on everything that's new that's been added. Otherwise, you could still go and check out the boss guides that I did or showcases, as I still think they're pretty relevant right now. But if there's any more changes, then yeah, of course, you're going to see fresh content from me. And yeah, Hilda's now got some decent buffs, at least for some of the clothing. You never know, they may still want to be taking feedback on board. So if you still got suggestions, best place to do that is by joining their Discord and popping it in the suggestions place there. And if you've obviously got any bugs or problems to report, that might also be a good spot. And that's it, I'm off. As soon as this update goes live for absolutely everyone, I'll let you know. If you don't know how to play the PTB, well, you can do it on Xbox. If you're on the Insider program, you should be able to see the Valheim beta version. And obviously on Steam, well, there's plenty of guides out there show you how to do it. I've done it enough times. But yeah, this should be reaching everyone very, very soon. So until next time, I'll see you later.